Okay. We are
All
on
right.
after a little technical difficulty.
Good job.
Sorry,
We're
everyone.
3 minutes late.
Couple minutes late, but we're here. Let's give it a minute or two for people to start popping on. Hello, Sister Squad Collaborative, everybody.
Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Join us. Let's go.
Great to be here.
I'm excited. Okay, we got people coming on now. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Sister Squad Collaborative. If you're new, you're going to love this. This is episode 4. You guys, 4 lives we've done. I'm so excited for our group. It's growing like crazy. I have to admit that I do look sometimes at how many members we have, of course. And yesterday we had under 300, and today we're over 300. Yay!
Love that.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Like, we're so excited to have you all. So I'm Mindy from Bellingham, and Jen is from Albany, New York. Mary Chris is from Columbus, Ohio. Natasha is in Houston, Texas. And our special guest today is live from Las Vegas. Yay. And I'm going to turn this over now to Mary Chris so she can tell us all, make sure we're all on here properly. And then we'll get Candice on.
Let's get going. All right. Hi, guys. If you are here, everything's good, drop us a note. Tell us where you're from. And if you're snowed in, because I know a lot of us are snowed in right now. Probably not you in Vegas, but
not me.
Yeah, a lot of us are. And remember, if you want to write comments, to go ahead and give StreamYard your permission so we can see who is writing comments in. There's a link right above us. Go ahead and tap that. And there you go. And then we will start getting those comments. So we're looking forward to a very interactive session today. So Jen, do you want to go ahead and kick us off?
I would love to. So we welcome Candice here today. And Candice is a social media guru. I actually met Candice on Clubhouse last year when my Clubhouse addiction started. And we started the social, well, I went on as a guest for Candice on the Social Agent, and we just met. So that's what I love about Clubhouse. We meet so many cool people all over the country. It actually changed my business, and it changed my perception of what's possible. So Candice has been my coach in the past and has helped me immensely. As pathetic as I once was, I'm still getting there. And I strive for consistency. And this woman is awesome. She's going to give us some great tips, and she has a great product as well. She is a Instagram coach. And tell them a little bit about that. And also just, I'm so excited for you to come and share with our group, Candice.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much. I'm so proud of you, Jen. This is something that we've talked about you creating and being part of for a long time. So I love that you found people to have that synergy together and really make it happen. Everything is better together. So this is like many months of Jen's brainstorming about what she wanted to do, like finally coming to fruition. So I love to see that. So congratulations. I'm excited for you. I'll do like a little introduction. Here's how I'm imagining this is going in my mind. I love that I could see the comments. Thank you for that. So I'll do a little introduction. I'm going to give you some of my top tips, and then I want to open it up for questions because that is my favorite way to operate anyways in conversation and in relationship. I want to get to know you. So hi, everyone. I'm Candice. I'm a brand strategist, and I specialize in helping real estate agents show up and show off in the online space. That means that I help you with everything from social media marketing to logo design, website design, what your pictures should look like, all of that. I help you to look good online, period. So a lot of the work that I do is also coupled with mindset. So it's not just the skill of knowing how to do the thing, but it's the mindset that allows you to break outside of your comfort zone and show up, right? So I'm also a certified life coach, so that comes out of me a lot, and I'm sure you will recognize that throughout our time together today. But that's a little bit about my background. I'm also a brand strategist at Serhant. So if you've heard of Ryan Serhant before, I help his agents to show up and show off in the online space. So that's what I do. It's my jam. It's what I love. And I'm excited to be here with you today to share that. So I wanted to start with the 3 biggest mistakes that I see realtors making on Instagram. And the reason is because I want you to recognize that maybe you're making some of these mistakes, and this is an opportunity to check yourself and maybe start thinking a little bit differently. So here they are in no specific order, but the 3 things that I see real estate agents doing online that they really shouldn't be. The first one is showing up without a personal brand. So what does that look like? If you don't know your personal brand, that's usually you showing up kind of with this like, I don't know what to post kind of energy, and it shows. And so that's where you post the things that your brokerage gave you. That EXP said, hey, this is a great graphic for your this is a great graphic for your listed home or for your open house. And their logo is all over it and it's blue and orange and it doesn't match your vibe, but you don't know what to do, so you post that, right? That's okay. We all start there. But if you don't have a personal brand, you're building someone else's brand and you're not even building their brand well, right? So whatever your brokerage is, they are essentially using you for placement, because now all of your feed is just Keller Williams, Remax, right? And that's really not helping you build relationships. And if you want to check the data, go look at any of those posts like that in your feed and you'll see 7 likes is not helping you. 0 comments is not helping you. And so guaranteed, one tiny thing that you can do differently that's going to help a little bit more is sharing a picture of you. I'm talking about like 5 times more engagement, right? Going from 7 likes to 35. It's a big jump. So if you don't have a personal brand, you are going to sell someone else's brand over and over again and never truly build your own. My goal for you here is like, I care about you as women first and real estate agents second, right? And as a woman who may or may not sell real estate for the rest of your entire life, building your personal brand is going to be the thing that allows you to continuously bring in income. Because I don't care if next year you decide that you want to sell vitamins. Fine, we already know, like, and trust Mindy Price. And if Mindy Price is doubling down on these vitamins and they are helping her feel good and she's living her best life because of it, I trust her and I believe her. And so my goal here is that you spend time focusing on your personal brand. So it doesn't matter what you sell, people are into it, right? Because J-Lo can come out with anything and I'd buy it, right? Oh, she has a new highlighter? I'm in. Oh, self-tanner? No problem. Oh, she has a new CD? Well, not that we buy CDs anymore, but album, I'm going to download it, right? It doesn't matter what she sells. I love her. And so you probably can think about a person like that you're just like, yeah, whatever they do, sure, no problem. That's because they've spent time intentionally thinking about their personal brand. Mm-hmm. Okay. And real estate agents, they don't teach you this in real estate school. You learn nothing about marketing or branding and everything about shit that you never need.
Yeah.
Right. And so developing a personal brand, not developing a personal brand is the biggest mistake that I see people make. And one problem that often is associated with that is that you're looking at other agents around you who also don't have personal brands. And you're like, oh, well, that agent's doing better than me, so maybe I should do that. And you're incrementally getting better, but you can just like do a quantum leap to get better by intentionally thinking about your brand.
Right.
So that's a thing. Do y'all have any commentary on that before we move along?
Candice, there's one question. I think maybe someone asking, like, what do you mean by personal brand? Like your own logo? But I think you're talking, like, what are you meaning when you say personal brand?
I love it. So great question. And in my notes here, I have the 5 elements that make up your personal brand. So I'm really glad you asked. Here they are. If you're taking notes, here are the 5 things that you should be thinking about when developing your brand. 1 is your brand story. Why does this brand even exist? Why does it matter? Knowing your brand story is a huge piece of it, because this is what you talk about in your keynote. Jen Wilson talks about how she became a single mother where out of nowhere, she didn't know was coming. And she knew she had to do something to take care of her boys. And she knew that real estate was going to be the thing, because it still allowed her to go to lacrosse games. And it still allowed her to be a present mom and bring in the income that she needed to be able to send her kids to college. And so that story is it's a opportunity to relate. It's a relatable story that some other woman is going to be inspired by and say, Jen, that's what I need. Can you help me do that? I need to be at home with my kids, but I also need to make money. And you seem to have figured it out. And now I need to ask you that, right? So knowing your story, because your story is an opportunity to allow connection and not having shame in your story, which is a big thing for women, right? A huge thing. There was, for me, when I was a teacher, I made $1,200 every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of shame when I started making more money and my job was more fun and more playful and I got to cuss and wear whatever I wanted and like all these like weird things. Like there was so much shame because I'd be like, oh, I know my teacher friends are working harder than me and I'm making so much more money than them. And I felt bad about it, so bad that I think I gave myself like a little income cap for a while because I was like, oh, I don't want to make too much more than them. Like
Subconsciously, you probably did.
Yeah, totally. And so anyhow, whether it's shame in the choices you make, and then I had some shame, like, why did I think I had to have a master's degree? Like, can I get my money back for that, please? Or like, why did I think that, why was I in this 8-year relationship that was total bullshit? Like that, like, why did I do that to myself? And like, I don't ever want to talk about it because it's so embarrassing, but I'll tell you the embarrassing part right now, y'all. I found him cheating on me on Instagram. And that's like really, that's the embarrassing thing. That's shame in that, right? After 8 years, like I felt so stupid. I didn't want to say it because people are like, Candice, but you're like so smart and successful. And like you were with this loser for 8 years. Yeah, I really was. And you know what? Now I'm going to share that because one of you is in a relationship with a loser right now. And now I'm talking about buying a yacht in the next 5 years with my partner.
Yeah.
And traveling the world and having fun and like having aligned values and never wondering if he cares about me because he always shows that, right?
Yeah.
Anyhow, whatever, off topic, but not. But not because knowing your story is going to allow someone nodding their head right now and being like, yep, Candice, because I'm sharing a story.
Yeah.
You're never going to forget me for that. And now you want to know how I saw him cheating on Instagram. And I'll tell you one day.
Yeah, I think it's nice that there's a change lately in the like being perfectly imperfect. We all so often and years ago, like whatever, you just had to be perfect and you couldn't do anything unless you were all, and now it's more like this is life. This is how it goes. And you can relate to people more when I love hearing your story. I love that. Yeah. It just makes me like you even more. Right. And so I think that's amazing. I think that's really good tip. I mean, you don't want to dump everything on.
No, you don't want to dump everything. And it's always like, it's always when it makes sense, right? Yeah. It's like Jen's invited to do a keynote, like she's going to have to talk about where the drive and desire and passion to make this happen came from. And for her, it's from her family, right? And for me, I think that, my past relationship, even though I was always pretty successful, after leaving that relationship, all of a sudden, like this weight was off my shoulders that I never knew I was carrying. And like, I just got to shine so much brighter. And I never even knew that I was being dim, anyways. And so so in some way, when I'm invited to talk on the stage for EXP, I'm going to talk about how your relationships, whether that's your friendships or partnership, whatever, need to be in service of and support of your vision for your life. And when they're not, it's okay to say bye. And so I won't like include all the details like I will in the sister collaborative here, but like it's still going to come up for me because it's a huge part of why I've done all these things. I don't know. Anyways, moving on. So number 1 is your brand story. Number 2 is your brand values. What do you care about and how do you portray those things? So for me, I value authenticity. That should come through in all the content that I make. Right? That matters to me. I value alignment, and alignment to me means like mindfulness and connecting my energy to the universe and like that kind of thing. And that is going to come through in some of the content that I create. You'll see it. I'm sure it already has come through today and what we've talked about, right? So thinking through your own values and making sure the things that you create are in alignment with that is going to attract people who have similar values, and people who have similar values are your best clients because they're so easy to work with. And when you are putting your values out there, not by saying, I value authenticity, but by showing that you value authenticity, then the people who also value that are going to be attracted to it. So knowing your values is key. Your brand look and feel, this is where your logo comes in, your brand colors, all that does matter, right? We want to have a consistent presence. Your brand attitude, which is something that most people don't talk about, but I think it's important to think about your brand attitude. Is my brand attitude helpful? Is my brand attitude in your face? My brand's a little bit in your face. My brand's a little bit, I told you so. but in a nice sister friendly way. But that's on purpose. I think about it because that's who I am, right? Like I am the I told you so friend. And so I might as well just be the I told you so coach. It's okay. And when I decided that I was going to let myself be that person, and that's my brand attitude, I was excited to show up online more than I was when I was trying to hide that. When I was like, oh, I should be softer. I should coddle a little bit more. Then I didn't want to make any content because it was too hard to fake it, you know?
Yeah, I think because you're being your true self. So when you're being yourself, you're so comfortable and just everything's better. Yeah.
One of the best things that Candice taught me was to not care what people think about you, because it's like this imposter syndrome thing is it's a real thing, and there's so much going on, and I don't like to compare myself to others. I like to look at somebody, be grateful for what they have and be happy for them and whatnot, but comparison does kill joy, especially on social media when you're trying to, just not shine, but I just want to be myself.
Fucking shine.
Just want to be myself, man.
Yeah,
right?
100%. Yeah. And everyone's gonna have haters. It's the people who, let's go back to JLo. Why not? I freaking love her. So JLo has haters. People are like, oh, she's not that talented. She doesn't really sing well, whatever. They say all the things, right? She's still shining. She's still doing her thing, right? JLo was a fly girl on In Living Color, and some of you are too young to even know what that means, but Google it. But she had a vision for herself, and all the other fly girls amounted to nothing. Sorry, I don't know if they did or not, but I don't know them. And JLo had her own vision and did her own thing. And so all of the brands that you admire, all of the people that you admire had haters along the way, and they didn't care, and they showed up anyways. I'm not saying it doesn't hurt your feelings. Usually your haters, like your first haters, are your family and your friends, because they're like, who does she think she is? She doesn't know anything about that. Right?
Completely.
And
yeah, that's a harder one.
Then you laugh all the way to the bank in 2 years. Give it 2 years and laugh all the way to the bank. And then they're like, can I borrow money? And they're like, no, bitch, you said I haven't exhausted. What do you mean? Huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyhow,
I love that.
Okay, I'm going to recap the 5 because we went all over the place with it. And the 5th one is your unique value add, the thing that you do that's different than everyone else. So brand story, brand values, look and feel, brand attitude, and your own unique value add, the thing that you do differently. Why would someone want to join your EXP organization over someone else's? Okay.
Right.
All right. The second thing people do wrong is thinking that it's about selling a house. It's not about selling a house. Okay. Opening a door is like the lowest level thing that you can do in our real estate world. Okay. Any person can do it. Get your niece to get their real estate license at 18 and send her all around town opening doors. That's fine. But hopefully she'll learn from you and elevate in a few years. Anyhow, opening doors is the lowest level thing that you could be doing. What it makes you super valuable in this space is 2 things. One, being a lead generator. That's literally number 1. If you can generate leads, that's everything. And that is a transferable skill that you can take across industries, right? It's huge. And then the second thing that makes you valuable is being able to train people to be able to replicate systems. Okay, those are the 2 things that make you valuable in real estate. It is not about opening a door. And so many people are still caught up in that thing. People tell me, Candice, I don't have time to make content. I'm like running around town with my clients all day. I'm like, why? That's a waste of your time. I don't want to say that sounds like really harsh, but I want to say it harsh because I want you to get it. Okay. Showing houses is something that you can have a member of your team do. And what you should be doing, the most important thing, if you were going to change your business this month, it would be to change your mindset from selling a house to being a lead generator. That's going to make you money.
Question. So I have a question. I don't know sorry to interrupt, but
no,
I know.
Please, my favorite thing.
I think I always tell new people when they're like, what do I need to know about getting my real estate license? I said, the job is lead generation, 100%. First thing I tell people. But my question to you is, when you're new and you're starting out, you can't hire someone to open the door. You haven't opened a door yet yourself. So give a little time frame. I mean, you do need to practice opening the door. You do, and build your business. So how long, or tell me I'm wrong, throw it back at me. Like, what do you think? You've been around all these really top agents. Okay, go.
So my top agent that I've worked with so far, and I work with a lot of them,
Yeah.
His team sold $1.2 billion in real estate last year. And he's like, Candice, you've helped me so much. Oh my gosh, Candice. I never thought about it like this before. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Which is incredible and amazing. But okay. So
brand new agent.
You're a brand new agent. You need to know how to do this. You follow a mentor around and learn how to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're doing that, you're still creating content and learning how to be a lead generator.
Yeah. 100%.
And maybe you open doors for, I'm not saying you never open a door. I'm just saying that you can't see yourself as that. Like that should not be the thing that you are focusing on, because opening doors is not going to bring you wealth.
Right.
There's not enough time in the day for you to, there's a maximum amount of doors that you can open in a day. Just human wise, right? There's human capacity. There's only so many doors that you can open a day. So if that is true, okay, how do I make sure that I always have a full pipeline? You make sure you always have a full pipeline by shifting your mindset to becoming a lead generator. And you can send those leads to literally anyone, your own teammates, your friends in town, like literally anyone. And you can always have consistent income for yourself, because people know, like, and trust you enough that even if you were going to refer it out, and even if it wasn't someone on your team, you have a strong enough relationship with that person that you know they're going to be well taken care of.
Yeah.
Can I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so very much along this topic right here. So when you are this lead generator and people are coming to you because they've seen you in social media and they're like, oh, like I
know that's happening to you, Natasha.
And they think, yes. And then how do you make, I mean, part of the transition is I say, you're probably going to work with one of my showing assistants to show you around Houston.
Yep.
More than likely, I'm not doing it unless it's the middle of the week and I have nothing else going on and you're a big buyer.
Yeah.
But I've gotten the showing part down, and kind of how do you literally transition that person to them? Like, I'm going to give you this referral. They're like, but your expertise, and they still bug you.
Want you.
Because
yeah.
like you fall in love with a doctor and then they want you to see their PA and they don't want to see the PA.
Yeah, it's the biggest question that I get. And so here you start strategically sprinkling your top partners through your content.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Right.
Ooh.
So I go to Mindy's page and I'm like, oh, Mindy and Natasha are at lunch because Natasha's another top agent, right? Oh, Mindy and Natasha are seeing this house, and y'all, this all can be staged. This doesn't have to. This could be on a Saturday. You two met up for brunch, and you're like, we're gonna take a picture, and I have a listing down the street. Let's go take a picture in front of that house and whatever, right? Yep. And you're making content, but you are allowing your audience to build trust with this person because of proximity.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That is so smart. That is so smart.
So if you thought about these two things, if you can be a lead generator and then teach lead generation.
Yeah, you know, just a quick
money.
The master at lead generation, the CEO and founder of eXp Realty. That's who told me in the beginning, because I knew him starting, and he said, our job is to lead generate. Yeah.
Well, and with that, like I have a YouTube channel. That's where I do a lot of my and stories and all that. I've thought about, like, because I have agents in other parts of Houston that I will not drive there, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just talked to one, she just joined me. And I'm like, hey, why don't we do a video together, share screen, and you're going to tell me about the top 5 neighborhoods for young entrepreneurs in the Heights in Houston.
Love it. That's it. That's you allowing your audience to build trust with her. That's super smart. And I think that it's also the way we talk about people. If I ever send someone to Jen, I'm going to be like, I'm sending you to the top agent in Albany. She works with all of the most incredible clients. She knows the ins and outs of every street on that. And I wouldn't be doing you the best service if I handled that, because she's lived there for the past 18 years. Yeah. So I'm going to make sure that Jen's going to take super good care of you. If there's I'm going to check in on the transaction at these 3 points. Like, this is what you can expect, as long as you set people up for
expectation.
It's everything. It's everything.
Yeah.
And the belief that you are the only one that can do the thing is small-minded thinking.
No,
And
I'm ready to let it go.
yeah. And right. Yeah, no, I see it in you. I'm just like talking in general to the
Yeah,
world.
no, I
to
don't
listeners.
know how.
Yeah.
Like, the how
Yeah.
is the hard
So,
part.
and another thing is start talking, and I don't know if you can legally use this word, but look it up. I would start talking like, I'm going to send you to my team member, and start talking about in your videos, like, my team is going to handle you, my team, or whatever the word is that you can use.
Yeah.
My co-op,
group.
whatever. Yeah, my group.
I say a lot of times, I have a business partner.
That's
He's
a
going to
good
work
one.
with you this afternoon.
And I would, and I would broaden it up to include multiple people, so they
Yes.
know that So using that word, because that also elevates your status, it builds your authority instead of it being just you, right? Like, not, you're also responsible for this whole organization who all operate within these values, which is why you're doing this together.
Yeah.
Y'all,
And I
just
think
leave a
that's so
comment
important
below.
to mention that too right now, Candice, just because there are so many like me. I am a solo agent team. I have a team of people, but I'm a solo agent team, and I do have buyer's agents and other agents that help me and work with me on my team. But if you don't say that, then people don't know, and they don't know. Just like anything on social media, and
like
just being
anything.
authentic to yourself and
And
saying, like, this is who I am. This is what I do.
this is going back to like the operating in secret.
Yes.
Right? Because
Yes.
you're actually doing all this stuff that you're not telling people about. You are training people. You are helping people be lead generators. You are helping people go from making no money to making great money, right? Those are all things that you're doing, but you're not sharing them. And so we don't believe those things about you. We think you're just a realtor.
No, it does make a
And those people
difference.
are a dime a dozen, right? No, we got to stand out. So we have to start actually portraying what we really are doing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I started referring a lot of my business out, just to be able to build myself personally. I had so much personal growth last year that I did end up sending business out and sharing it with others. And of course, people run your numbers and look at everything, and that doesn't even faze me or bother me at all. Not even a little, because
Well,
we're
what
growing in
you're
different
doing.
ways.
Yep. And
Yeah.
People run your numbers, whatever, it doesn't matter. You're living the life that you want to live. And that is the most important thing. Whatever life you want to live, that's the life I want you to have. Unless it's like a small-minded thinking life, then I want you to think again.
That's not
Think again.
allowed. That's not allowed in my universe.
No, it's not allowed.
So I do, just back to the new agents. So how long do you think new agents typically will spend branding themselves? Because you got to do the steps. So they've got to brand themselves. So how long before they can like level up to that next level?
I think that I don't like to talk in steps, because I think that keeps us playing small. I think when we talk in steps, like I know when I was a teacher, I was like, oh, if I just get my master's degree, I'll make an extra $5,000 a year. $5,000 a year. That's what I was trying to do, y'all. How embarrassing now. How embarrassing now, right? And at that point, I thought that was good. So I have to say it, because someone's like, oh, I'm trying to make 5,000 extra next year. And like, no, like, let's have a better goal. But that's where I was. I was like, let me go to school for 2 years. Let me invest $35,000, and then I will get $5,000 more a year. And after 7 years, that'll actually start returning on that investment. What the hell? Because I thought I had to take steps, and there are no steps, right?
So so like someone could do it in a week.
Someone could do it in a week. So I think day one, if you're a new agent, day one, what you do is you write down all your sphere of influence. You contact them, tell them you're an agent. And you begin lead generating, and you see that as your job from day one. That doesn't mean you don't shadow people, follow people around. You're working in the business and on your business at the same time. And day one agents, like, y'all have a lot of time. So there's no excuse for you not to lead generate and create content and whatever. Follow people around, see what people are doing, top agents who you want to be like, bring them their coffee, sit next to them in a listing appointment, be the nicest, most helpful person ever, and then learn all the things. That's what I would do day one. And you can build your brand from day one, and you should. It's thinking that you have to level up that's holding you back. My client is 19 years old. Did I already say this on this? I said it at my last call. Okay, my client is 19 years old. He's in Washington State, near Seattle. He sold his first house, and it closed in December for $1.55 million.
Yes.
At 19.
Yes, that's awesome.
You know what that means?
Yeah.
That's his entry level expectation. He's not going to not take $1.5 million houses. He's
Yeah.
going to start looking for $3 million houses.
Yeah.
And that's just who he is. And I was like, let's talk about how to talk about this, because we need to, say this without saying you're 19, because I don't want that to distract people. And so I was like, we're going to say on his social media, you just made the biggest sale of your life. They don't have to know it's your only sale.
True.
I just made my biggest sale. So we decided he was going to say, I just made my biggest sale in my entire life for $1.55 million, and I'm looking to double that this year. Let's go. Who's ready? That's
Perfect.
it. And that's the message, right? Because that is his new level of standard. He didn't have to sell. And I guarantee you, some old agent was like, first you have to start in this neighborhood, and then you can do this, because they guaranteed, someone said they're not going to take you seriously to sell their $1.55 million house.
Yeah, they will.
Guess what?
Yeah, they will.
Did it.
Yeah, they will.
Did it. Yeah.
A lot of it is your confidence, right? New agents, I know it's scary, but just go.
It's the thought that it's my thought that I had to take baby steps so I can make an extra $5,000 a year that I wasn't going to make till 8 years later. But that thought is keeping you from having the business that you want to have.
Yeah.
So anyways, it's not about selling a house. It's about being a lead generator, relationships. Okay.
Yes.
And then the last thing is, that you're doing wrong is avoiding being on camera and allowing us to hear your voice.
I used to do that. I have a story. Like last year in March, I'm not doing video. My voice is yucky. All the things. Onboarded a team. They were doing videos. We all were out at happy hour, and they challenged me. And I've been video since.
Mindy.
I'm like, oh heck, I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Did it. Love it.
Awesome. Yeah. It's
so
awesome.
So Candice, how do you, if someone is nervous about making video or don't want to, what are the baby steps, or how do you encourage them, or what do you want them to start doing?
My two things that I always tell people is, one, talk like you're talking to your best friend. When I used to be the coach, I was like, here's the thing that you need to do to lead generate. We all think that that's what we have to do, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Proper.
When I was doing that, I didn't want to create content because I felt like it had to be this like perfect, which was actually really boring. And I didn't want to do it. But then I literally in my mind was like, you're just talking to Corey. My best friend's an agent too. My parents are in real estate, so I've been around it for a while. So I was like, you're just talking to Corey. What would you tell Corey if she was doing this thing wrong? I'd be like, girl, you need to get your life together. Here's what you need to do. I got this, right? First, we're going to stop freaking running around town all day and selling houses. We're not doing that. That's like low level entry. We are past that. We're in year 2. And I was like, oh, if I just talk to people like I talk to Corey, people
smart.
feel like I'm their friend.
Yep.
And if you feel like I'm your friend, then that's me building the know, like, and trust factor. And if I'm building the know, like, and trust factor, I don't care if you ever buy a house from me. You never have to buy a house from me. You never have to buy my program. You never have to do it. But you're going to leave here today being like, I was on the best call today with Candice. Follow her. She's going to help you. And that's really all I need you to do. I'm building an army of people who will say my name first. And that's what you need to do. Build an army of people who will say your name first. They don't have to be the buyer or seller. They just have to be the one who's going to be your biggest fan, because that's how you become that lead generator that you want to become. So 1, talk like you're talking to your best friend. Please stop being stuffy, boring, professional. I don't even know what that means in 2022 because we're all working in our pajama bottoms. So stop. So let us in, be our friend. And then it doesn't mean you can't educate us. I'm educating you. And I'm also talking casually because I want to. Okay.
Yeah.
And then and then the second thing for being
on video.
Is start on your Instagram stories, which is what Jen did and really helped her a lot because she started so many conversations. Start on your stories because they go away in 24 hours and somehow that's like a little bit less intimidating.
Yep.
And what happens is when people start responding to your stories, even if it's like 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, regular basis every day, then you're like, oh, right? It's a little light bulb moment for you that's like, I'm seeing the pretty instant return on doing these stories. How can I continue this momentum? And then you'll be more encouraged to try other types of videos. Yeah. So I think stories, and my recommendation for stories is 8 story slides a day. And you cannot fight me on this because it's only 2 freaking minutes. 2 minutes on your stories a day.
So
that
I
is
have a
nothing.
question for you. Stories. When you say
Mhm.
8 a day, I'm assuming you're mixing personal, business, who you are. Like, what is there a certain formula you have for that?
Okay, so I feel like people are obsessed with formulas and frameworks, and I don't like to give them because then they're like, but Candice said I can only post one third of my posts friends and family, and I already posted one this week, so I can't do it. Like, I'm not saying that, but if you need a framework because it helps you, think about your content: 1/3 real estate, 1/3 friends and family, and then 1/3 that unique value add that you uniquely are positioned to do, whether that's helping people build wealth or helping people with their fitness or having, I don't know, vegan food. I don't know, whatever it is, doesn't matter to me. As long as you're passionate about it and you feel like a resource to your community for that thing.
One
Yeah.
one other question on that, and that was, does it apply the same for story content as it does for the actual post, that, you know what I mean? Stories versus what's permanently on your page.
Yeah. I feel like it's in your stories. Your stories are really just day-to-day life behind the scenes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I just want to know that you just went to your kid's lacrosse game. Cool,
Mhm.
great, fun. I want to feel like it's easy for me to reach out to you.
Yep.
If you watch my story today, you're gonna see like a mix of things. Today I said, what do old people wear to festivals? I Googled that last night.
No, I saw that and I commented to you and I said, you are not old.
Well, older than those 21-year-olds that are gonna be there. That's for
Okay,
sure.
fair enough.
But see, Mindy, like, okay, that made you want to reach out to me.
Oh, I was
comment,
cracking up. I was like, oh,
right?
hello, no.
Right, relatable. And
Yeah.
so I don't
I had to tell you,
monitor my content in that way.
I was on a listing appointment yesterday, and I was talking about how interest rates are going to affect with the lack of inventory that we have. And just, she was asking me, should I list now? And it's almost $1 million house. And we basically said to her, I was like, with interest rates, I said, it's going to be super tight. They're going to go up. That's the way it's going. Our inventory is still down. New construction is still bottlenecked. And went into it with her. She goes, oh, I watched your video. And I was like, oh, I was like, you did? And she goes, oh yeah. She goes, yeah. She goes, so 4%, huh? And I was like, yep, at least that's what they're saying. That's what the
I
experts
love
are
it.
saying. And I'm just like, oh, this is so great. Like, you
I
already
love
get
it.
me. She already trusted me. She was like, there's
Yeah.
nobody else that's going to list my house but you. And I was like, well, that's great. I said, I'm so glad we get to work together. She already trusted us before we walked in.
And that's the power of video content, y'all. I'm honestly, before I used to go into my consultations and I was like, oh, I could probably get like, I don't know, 3 out of 10, right? Like 3 out of 10 people I could actually convert. Why? Because I was on the consultation convincing people that I was the right person for them. And now I pretty much close probably 9 out of 10 of my people that I'm on consults with because they've already been consuming me for 6 months, right? For 6 months. And people, I promise you, people tell me this. They're like, Candice, I've been wanting to work with you for a year, but I just had to save my money and now I'm so ready. Right? People, I'm like, what? Like, you've been watching, I don't even know you. You've been watching me for a year. What? And so my consultations are just like, literally they get on the phone. They're like, okay, like, how much is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell them how much it is. And that's it.
I love that.
Because they've already, just like Jen, right? Yeah. I watched your video. I know you're the one. I've been watching you. You look awesome. You're connected to all the coolest people.
Yeah. I love that.
And the ones that don't come your way, consider it a gift because God speaks in very, very interesting ways, for sure.
Yeah. And you can start off videos if people out there that are listening to us today haven't done a video yet. I literally didn't want to do videos. And when Redwood Group challenged me, the first one I did, I was going through the drive-through car wash and the conversation was in my head about how they challenged me to start doing videos. And I just turned it on and I said, hey, everybody, I'm in the car wash. I'm doing this waterfront property. I'm talking live to you. I've never done this before. Hundreds of people like reached out like, what? You're on video now? How cool. I'm like, changed my year last year changed by doing those kind of things.
Maybe that needs to be our next challenge, a video for our group to do.
Good idea.
How many people who are watching right now have not done a video before on Instagram?
Yeah, let's hear.
There's a definitely
There's a
let us
bunch
know
of
in the comments.
questions.
But yeah, there's questions and I want to ask them. So
Yeah.
can you guys like curate them for me? Can someone tell me a question? I don't know. Which one do you want me to answer?
One is, I see a lot of top producing realtors posting daily. We kind of talked about this, every detail of their lives, from their beds to complaining about things. What do you suggest as a boundary to not tarnish your brand?
I think that first of all, you have to know what your brand is. So if your brand, and this doesn't work for everyone, but it can work for some people, if your brand is about like being like kind of like the annoying influencer and it works for you, go for it.
Yeah.
No, literally, like, fine. Tell us about how they gave you 7 ice cubes instead of your requested 6 and how that ruined your morning. That's fucking funny. It's fun, like, right? Whether we want to or not, like, we're still watching that stuff, right? And sometimes it's just about being present. So I think that I would go back to saying, like, what is my brand? And then ask yourself the question, is what I'm sharing aligned with the brand that I want?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so if you're like okay with it being your brand, it works
Then
for
it
some
is.
people. Yeah. Like I don't care that my brand is in your face. I told you so. You should have listened to me. I don't care. Like that's who I am. And the people who are attracted to it stay. And the people who don't like it leave. So
And
I
that's
don't
it.
think that there's a
Go to
boundary.
next story. Go to
That's
next
it.
story. And the
Right.
ones that love me
Yeah.
are the ones. But
Right.
it's again, it's all about the fact
It's
that,
choice.
if you are not being yourself, you're going to attract the wrong person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you won't attract anyone at all because it's not interesting.
Not
Right.
genuine.
I did this.
Just think about like any comedian that you watch. Some comedians you love, some comedians you hate.
Yeah.
And it's you just picked a flavor and you went with it because that's your flavor, right? But
Yeah.
there's people like different flavors. So
Yeah.
whatever, I don't care. Be your brand.
True.
I did this video last week on reasons not to move to Texas.
I saw it.
Everybody's
So good.
moving to Texas.
Yeah.
And I was about as honest as they come because of you guys. Like, we live very different lives than you right now. Like, nobody owns a mask here and nobody even really talks about COVID and life. And then I talked to my girlfriends and hear Jen and all, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So I was like, if it bothers you that people are walking around the grocery store without a mask on and everywhere you go, every
Don't come
restaurant,
here.
then don't move here.
Yeah, it
And
was an
I'm
honest
telling you,
video.
I probably had 30 comments on my channel, which is a lot. I mean, people are like, that's the whole reason I'm moving there. That's the people that are moving here. So it niched out perfectly. But I told my husband, I'm like, I'm not going to talk about politics, but I am going to talk about people in Texas are done with COVID. And they don't want
You're
to.
my kind of people.
Texas
because
has ended, or
New
COVID
York.
has ended in Texas. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, it's kind of funny that you say that because I was a little bit anxious about it because I'm like, then I was like, you know what? If they're offended, then they probably shouldn't come here because that's what it's like. So
right. You're like, I'm not wearing my mask on the appointment with you. So
yeah, I don't even know what anymore. So,
yeah.
anyway.
Let's answer some more questions.
Yeah, I think Mary Chris, can you see them?
Yes. Can you help us use this? I think you touched a little bit, but can you help us use this for recruiting the right agents for our teams?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So this is an interesting one because as you build out your organization, you are going to start thinking about the brand of your organization. So am I talking to only EXP agents in here or other?
No, it's a mix. Everybody. Some people might be building a team or whatever.
Or organization. Okay. So as you build out your team, you're going to kind of want to go through the same personal brand process, but thinking of it as a team. So you can think about your team as an extension of your personal brand. So if you value building wealth, cool, that should come as a value of your team. And then people who also value that and want to learn how to do that well are going to be attracted to joining your team. So knowing your team values really does matter. And yes, you can absolutely use social media to call in the right teammates or the right people in your organization by demonstrating what your unique value add is, right? So when people join my organization, they know that they're going to have the best support when it comes to personal branding, social media, video content. And so someone who wants to door knock as their main lead generation platform they're not going to choose me, and that's okay. I don't want them, right? Because I'm going to annoy them all the time by telling them to get on video. And so I want to work with agents who want to like bring real estate into 2022. And so that's the brands that I'm building because that's what matters to me. So aligned values are really, really going to matter.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
absolutely.
Perfect. Another one. Talk to us about hashtags.
Yeah.
Don't worry about hashtags.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, so like
They changed it all. They changed the
Yeah,
rules.
not
Before it was
anymore.
20, then it was 8.
And now it's like 3 to 5 apparently. So I would just say, don't try to be cheesy and use hashtags that don't matter. Like I'm not hashtagging at JLo when it has nothing to do with her. So don't try to use those big hashtags because you think that it's going to do something. Like honestly, if you have good content, it's going to reach people. And if you don't, then you don't. And it's not about your hashtags. It's just because your content's shitty. So let's just think about content first and people first.
Okay.
People first and then content. That connects to people.
That is awesome.
Okay, let's see. I think these other ones. Anybody else want to throw some questions
Yeah,
out?
what do you guys need? How can I help you?
Yeah.
I know. I want to hear everyone's questions too. And I also would like to know about who are your clients? How does someone become a client of yours? What do you do in your business? Because it's really fascinating. I'm fascinated.
Yeah. So my clients are all realtors, and I help realtors build out either their maybe their team or organization, or have more clients, buyers and sellers. And there's basically 3 things that I'm currently doing. One of them is I have a program called the Social Agent. It's like 6 weeks boot camp style. We figure out what your personal brand is. So kind of going through all of those things, your brand story, values, that kind of thing. And then learning how to use Instagram as the tool to share that. So it's 6 weeks. It's called the Social Agent. I do it about 3 times a year. So that's one. The other thing that I do is all the visual identity stuff. So if you're like, yes, I know I need my own logo, I need business cards, I need whatever, my team develops a whole branding suite for you so that you look like the quality of service that you actually provide. So if you're that realtor who bought their logo on Fiverr when you first started, that's fine. We all start there. But if you're in year 3 to 5 and beyond, then you need a professional logo. So let's talk. And then the last thing that I do is I do Vegas VIP days. And this is where you come to Vegas for a weekend and we do your brand photography. We do your logo design. We plan out a month of content. We go to a fancy Vegas dinner. But we really build out your brand in those 2 days. So you go home with 50 images that you can use online, a content calendar that's full. And then you learn the process. You have a styling session, hair, makeup, all that stuff. But
Fun.
you learn.
That would be a blast.
We should go out and do
Sister
one
squad out there.
Squad
Hang out with
Vegas.
Candice.
Sister squad event.
No, literally, let's do it.
No,
that
seriously.
would be
All
fun.
4 of you.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yeah. I like,
No,
let's get a
100%.
group together, you know?
Yeah.
Yes.
Super fun.
Actually, I would, so I was in my mind thinking like 3 people would be like what I would do in a group, but let's do 4. That would be fun. It'll be awesome.
I'm down. I'm game.
Yeah. Let's do
Yeah.
it. So we do
excited.
that. So we do all of it. So we do, obviously, I would meet with you individually and we do all your logo design kind of before you get here, but the big reveal is when you're here. And you just go home understanding who you are and understanding the next time you go to a photo shoot at home, you know what props to bring, what you should wear, how you should pose, which is also a really big thing that I was running into with my clients. Cause I'd be like, go get photos. And they'd come back with these like terrible photos that are not aligned with their brand.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
Do you remember my first shoot? You were like, what are you doing? I was like, really?
And I was like, no, honey, just come to Vegas and I got you. Please let me help you look great. And then you're going to understand the level of quality that is necessary. And then you'll never accept anything less. Right.
I agree. You need to go to someone good for that piece. And I tell a lot of new people that. I know a lot of them don't have the money in the beginning, but when you have
the money, when you have the money.
When I finally spent the money and I did some rebranding, but I'm now wanting to do, go again. I think you have to update. It's amazing. It's so worth every penny that you put into it.
So y'all, my suggestion is you come to Vegas before it gets hot. So like March, April, let's make it happen. But yeah, so I do that, which is a really fun, awesome experience. And that's mainly what I do. But I also love talking to any group. So if you're here and you're like, my brokerage needs to hear you, then like, hello, yes, call me. I want to talk to you.
Okay, that's a good idea. That's a great idea.
Question that we got missed up top. She said, can you help us use this for recruiting the right agents to our team. So not even
Yeah.
EXP, but just if they're trying to grow a team, what would you do to help attract those people, the right
100%. Well,
people to your team?
we would go back to like building out the brand foundations and who you are and what the unique thing is that you can do better than all the other teams in your area. Or, you know, if it's EXP, then obviously all the other teams in the world.
Natasha would teach, like, show everybody how she slays. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know how you do it, but you just do. You're
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
Natasha,
Yeah.
were you a teacher before too? Is that what did we talk
I
about that?
was
You were, yeah, right?
teacher
now
and
she's
then a
crushing
photographer.
it.
I mean, I feel like I'm still a teacher. I just teach you
Yeah.
something that's really, really
That's
valuable.
Tell you where I
really
struggle
true.
in teaching. I did 1 year in the classroom and those bulletin boards and all that stuff. I was like, and then I went to PE and coaching, and I still hate the pop buys and the cutesy little. It's like carried over to my business because I'm like, I don't want to make cutesy stuff for you. I'll take you out and, play a quick game of sand volleyball with you, but I really don't want to, but I do it because I'm supposed to, but I'm terrible at it. And I'll do all these pop buys and they'll sit in my car I just don't like that
So you
part.
know what? My
Crazy.
my best friend, I was like, she was kind of in that. She has 2 kids. One of them is just like, I think 6 months. And so she was like, Candice, I can't like make Popeyes anymore. I'm like, yeah, you shouldn't outsource. So we partnered with a local florist, and she makes the tiniest little arrangements that are like $8 each, like little tiny vases from the dollar section in Target, and like little cute little things, right? And she was like, I'm just going to do this every quarter, Candice. Like, who doesn't love fresh flowers? Of course, you're going to do it every quarter. And so she just literally goes and picks up the box, and she has, whatever, 30 Popeyes that she's going to do. And that's what she does. She doesn't have to put them together. And the florist loves it. She's like, these are so cute. And it's great Instagram content for the florist and whatever, and brings people in. And so
nice.
win-win, So thinking about how you can leverage, especially small business owners who are just like happy to, get the exposure. She puts her little, Instagram handle on it. The florist does too. So it's like also a little,
awesome.
Win-win.
We got 2 questions here. Just as we're running out of time, 2 questions.
Yeah.
One was, what do you think about Reels? And then the second was, do you have an example of a client online that you did a styling session for?
Yes. Okay. So first question was Reels. You have to make Reels and or TikToks because they have the greatest reach. So you can do it, and you can look at your analytics. I'm not making this up. You can look at your own analytics and see the reach on one of your regular posts. If you have a creator account, which I hope you do, you see the reach on your regular post and you see 107 people saw it. Great. Then you post a reel and you see 1,000 people saw it. If you are talking about efficiency and you're complaining about time, which you love to do, then you have to make a reel. You have to make a reel because you'd have to post 10 times for the reach to equal 1 reel, right? So like, let's just do the math and realize that you're wasting your time if you're not doing reels.
Wow.
So yes, reels, yes, TikTok. Oh my gosh, y'all. So I had to put my money where my mouth is because I keep telling people to go on TikTok, and my friends keep telling me, Candice, you have to be on TikTok. So last month I made 93 TikToks to just be like, okay, I'm going to do it. And I got 3 new clients, stranger clients who never knew me before because of TikTok. And so then I was like, okay, now I eat my words, do TikTok. Yes.
Good for you. That's great.
Thank you.
Yeah,
but
that's great.
It's about like, I couldn't keep telling people to do it and not do it myself. So I did it. So
Absolutely.
And then the second question was an example of client online that you did a styling session.
Yes. So I only had 1 Vegas VIP day so far, and it was last month. So you can check out Kate Has the Key.
Kate Has the Key.
That's cute.
That's really cute.
That's cute.
And we did her logo design and her photo shoot, and you'll be able to tell when we started working with her in her feed.
Which I love that. I love when people do a rebrand and you can see when it switched. I love it. Someone had said when I started to rebrand some of my stuff, are you going to take down all the other stuff on your Instagram? I'm like, oh, heck no. I'd like to see the
progression. Yeah, me too. I keep all the embarrassing things up too, just in case you do a deep scroll, you can see the progression.
Awesome.
I will note that I told her not to use that as her bio headshot, and she refused to change it. So I do not approve of her bio headshot.
Okay, well noted.
Clarity.
Well, that brings me to another question. A lot of people always ask, what should be in our bio?
Yeah. So who you serve and how you serve them is like the most important thing to me that needs to be in your bio. So like I help first-time home buyers, I help empty nesters, I help investors, I help busy professionals. I don't care who it is, but who do you help? And then how do you help them? Maybe you help realtors, you help new realtors double their income. I don't know. Tell me what you help them do. And then and then your location in the name line, and the name line is the bold line immediately below your biopic. That name line, I would put, if I was Natasha, I'd put Houston Realtor. And I know y'all are not gonna see, sometimes I have to say things that make you not like me, but
do it anyway.
Here's very honest.
Yes, very honest. You can't have realtor in your handle. So I don't want Natasha Realtor.
Interesting. Really?
Yeah.
We probably all have it.
We probably all have it.
I can't even remember what mine is.
Okay, this is why. Here's why.
Here's why.
So I want it to say realtor in your name line, because that line is searchable. So I would say if I, Vegas realtor in my name line.
Mine's not in my handle. Okay.
If it's in your handle, this is why. We know that people only buy or sell real estate about every 7 years in the United States. If that's true, how is someone going to want to follow me in between the time they're ready to buy or sell? If I know I'm following a realtor, I feel like they're always going to try to sell to me, and that's annoying. So it's just like an immediate opt out. It's like, I'm not in the market. I don't need to follow them. Right. So I want you to keep your people warm and interested, being their friend, being a trusted resource. And I don't want you to turn them off by immediately being like, I'm trying to sell you something like in your name. Like, why not in your name line? But I want it to be searchable. So if they happen to like my friend and client Sue, she changed her name line to Cleveland Realtor. And about a week, 2 weeks later, she got someone from out of state because they typed in Cleveland Realtor. She only had 300 followers, but she popped up and they used her. So I do want you to be searchable just in case that happens. But you have to remember, most of your business is coming from the people who are already following you. And they're not like searching for a realtor on Instagram most of the time.
So it should really just be your name then. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. And then Ideal World, it's just your name.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
My name's not available, but
yeah, I thought you meant don't have realtor in there at all. But
no. In your bio, yes, but not in your handle.
Just not your handle. Yeah, which is good. I don't know I don't think any of us do have that.
I do.
Oh, you do? Oh,
I get a lot of stuff from it, so I don't know.
Yeah. Interesting. And mine's not. It's my name.
If it's in your name line, it'll work just the same as if it's in your handle. So in the bolded name line, I would put Houston Realtor.
Gotcha.
And then your at would just be your first and last name.
Wow.
And it kind of goes back to the idea, if in 5 years you decide you're going to sell, I don't know, sex toys. Cool.
Right.
We still want to
exactly.
Right? Like we still want to.
Yeah, because you're branding it to you.
Oh, someone asked what a handle is. That's what your
screen name.
Sorry, guys, is. I have another meeting. I have to run.
We love you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, you guys. Woo, she's amazing.
Does anyone have any other?
So a handle is just so this person knows, like, I'm Houston Realtor Natasha on, it's your at.
Instagram. Yeah. I'm Jen Wilson Sells.
Oh, you can't see this.
It's too, almost.
So it's right here. It's your name right there.
Yeah.
Realtor.
It's so funny because like
I like her point.
Another influencer and they say to put it in there. So I don't know.
I think she has a good point though. If you're, a lot of us have multiple parts of our business.
Yes.
Where I do coaching too and I do other things. So it's like if I had just price realtor. Yeah. So.
But you do have to
but it should be in your bio.
In the line.
In the bold part, the first line, that's that bold line.
The first line under.
I wonder how that would work. Like with my everything, I'm always like, I'm Houston Realtor Natasha. If you want to search me up, I don't know.
I don't know.
Yes, they'd find me eventually anyway, but
yeah,
it's good. Was awesome.
All right,
she's amazing. So, do you want to, Mary Chris? You want to talk about like just how everyone's doing with the challenge real quick because we still have some people on.
I see people dropping off, but anyone that's left on, are you doing the challenge, the postcard challenge?
Personal cards.
Good. I have not done my 5 today, so I have to still do 5. I'm going to do them right now.
You know what's cool is the ones I mailed on Monday morning. One gal reached out and said, "Thank you so much for the card."
It's nice.
Yeah. So cool.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and
I
I
get
that's
a
think
little
awesome.
crazy with it, to be honest with you. I love writing notes. It's just very therapeutic for me.
Mhm.
Too.
So
Feels so good.
yeah, it does feel really good.
I like it,
All
especially when you have
right.
a cute card. Okay,
Yes.
so next week we have Angela Fazio on in a week.
Yay.
Yeah.
Woo, talking about
Mindset.
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 Mindset is going to be huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
All
And she's
right.
awesome. I'm so excited.
Me too.
All right, ladies.
Okay,
This was
bye.
awesome. Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.